And we are live. It's your boy, Elliot Truth, back again with another jam packed and very data rich presentation. This time on the esoteric and occultic symbols of the Illuminati, as well as other secret societies. This is going to be mind blowing. I have a crazy, interesting, mind blowing is the only word that I can think for it. Presentation to show to you guys. So you might want to take notes. Buckle up, hold on to your hats. I'm very, very, very excited about this. So a couple of housekeeping matters to get out of the way so far. Number one, I have merch and I have shirts, and I have any shirt you see me wearing on any live stream is most likely available at datastormtruth.com. And basically, let me just stand up to show you what these are. These are comic book images. This is in the style of the comic illustration artist Mike Diodato with different Americana messages. A lot of times quotes of the founding fathers. I have ones that are about, banking institutions are more dangerous than standing armies. If you're familiar with that Thomas Jefferson quote, with images of the historical figure on the shirt in this comic format. So it's not only just, it's not only Americana, it's not only the message, but it's cool. It's something that hasn't been done before, and it's something that's going to resonate, and people that have absolutely no idea about it will be interested in the shirt, basically just based on that. We're running a sale on them right now. They're only $22.50, and then free shipping on all of them as well. Only $22.50, and these are far more high quality than the other shirts you get. This is like a lot of these other shirts from these other t-shirt vendors, and I'm not going to plug these too long. I'm almost done. They wash off in like one or two, goes, you put them in the washing machine one or two times, the image practically peels off. These will stay forever and ever and ever. So if you're getting value out of this, then go to datastormtruth.com, check out the shirts, and I'm sure you'll like them a lot. And, that would help me a lot. And also, if you get them, please post a selfie of that and then send that to me as well. So now what we are talking about today, as mentioned before, this is lecture, presentation, whatever you want to call it, on the symbols of the Illuminati and the secret societies. Now, I researched this information. I researched this information almost well over like a decade and a half ago. And there's so much information. This is so vast. It's trying to get people caught back up. It's almost impossible, simply just because there's too many things to talk about. So these presentations are meant to basically go in chronological order. I had one talking about a certain false flag attack. I am on YouTube, so I have to be a little bit more careful, but whatever. They're going to give me a strike. They're going to give me a strike. There was that. And then yesterday there was a live stream that I did, a live stream where I talked about just general information about the Illuminati, the secret society. How do they work? Is it the Adam Weishaupt 1776 version of it? Is it something that goes back to far more ancient times? So you will not need to see that presentation to get the most out of this presentation. But if you don't know what you're talking about, what I'm talking about in the beginning, it probably would be helpful. And I'm doing these so we have like somewhat of a historical record on that. So basically, what are we going to talk about here? We know that basically this group has fingerprints that we can track. So what we know, order out of chaos. We know they want to manipulate world events and stuff like that, but it's undeniable that there is this occultic strain that runs through that's very similar to mystery religions being the pre-Christian religions of the ancient world. And you might call that mythology as well, but you will see here tonight that these symbols actually represent and permeate and control our world. They are still very alive. You have seen them over and over and over again, and you have not even realized it. That's because the best place you can ever hide something is always in plain view, almost always. So I have a lot of slides. So let me start getting to those. Now, this is not necessarily going to be right away, just about. Let me get the folder up here. There we go. And there's different versions of these symbols that you'll see different places. But there is what I'm looking for. Okay. Now, first of all, I'm just going to start right at the beginning. What's a symbol? And this is a symbol that's not necessarily an esoteric symbol. It's a symbol that you see every single time you're out or whatever, or, when you're going through society. And, it's like, okay, this is a symbol that I can go get a taxi over there. This shows that this leads to a post office or whatever. The advantage of having a symbol in the first place is that it allows a very complex concept to be explained and then symbolized in a couple lines. It's a very simple shape. So that allows people to see that and then to know what it means. Now, imagine if you had all of these symbols leading to opposite places. If you had a symbol that shows that this direction takes you to a bar, yet it leads to a parking garage, or you have a symbol that says it takes you to a bus stop and it takes you to a barber shop, then there's really no way that society could work. So the whole reason why they use these symbols is because they know what they mean. The foundation of any single symbol that you might use or see is agreed upon meaning. So, and it's also a way of branding it as well. But they try to argue that basically a lot of the stuff is just sort of arbitrary. But if a symbol's use is arbitrary, it ceases to be a symbol at all. So, we have, yes. Now, the other one I have is that in here? Nope. Basically, you have another symbol that is supposed to mean something in occultism or magic. And basically you have sigils. And that's basically what these symbols are. They're occultic sigils. Yeah, you get the idea. So basically, let's start out with that. And what this is going to do, where is that folder? Let me show you. What this is going to do is it's going to basically remove a blinder. You remember how I mentioned there's a couple that are the big symbols that I'm basically going to go through here that have different meanings. The biggest and most quintessential symbol of the Illuminati is the all-seeing eye and the pyramid, which is best known for being on the United States dollar bill. But some of the other really big ones are the winged sun disk, also the caduceus, which you will see how that is associated with Hermes. I will go ahead and try to answer questions as I more towards the end. If I try to do it while I'm doing this, I'm going to totally get confused and then mess up. So go ahead and feel free to post your comments in the chat if you have them. And I will either get to them at a point when I can in between or at the end of the presentation. But I promise I'll get to all of them. Another big one is owls. And you will see how big that is and how that goes back to mythology, possibly Babylonian deities such as Moloch, possibly other deities such as Minerva, and then how the three sinister sites that are basically the three capital cities of this particular cult, Washington, D.C., London, and the Vatican, are just positively replete with all of this symbolism over and over and over again. So, first of all, I mentioned that it was involved with mythology. I'm going to start out pretty basic before I go getting too crazy. Now, this is you may have heard of this guy named David Rockefeller. This is at Rockefeller Center. Now, this is a statue of Prometheus holding fire. That is the fire or the torch of illumination that he supposedly stole from the gods and then gave to mankind. They have a completely different and an alternate interpretation of mythology and religion, and they believe that possibly like that's actually Satan. Possibly Prometheus is the same one as Satan, and they basically think that he is their benefactor because they think that he is the one that gives them that knowledge. And that may sound a little bit crazy, but these people have pretty much taken over the world. So how you will see that go further. Now, what I'm going to do here, this is going to remove a blinder. It's like if you've never seen what a Prius looks like, and then someone says, oh, there's a Prius, and then you're like, dude, Priuses are everywhere, I never noticed them. You will suddenly start looking at the world in a completely different way. And if we can do that, that is one of my goals for tonight. So you have the torch of illumination from that. Now, the torch is also another very, very big Illuminati symbol. Now, you may recognize that because there is something called the Statue of Liberty, right? The Statue of Liberty, she holds a torch. This is actually a Babylonian deity, such as how the statue is Prometheus in Rockefeller Center. This is Queen Semiramis. Queen Semiramis is a fertility goddess. She's also known as the Whore of Babylon. And let me show you where she is. Let me show you this. So does that look a little bit familiar to you there? You see that? Now the crown is the rays of the sun. And you will see that over and over again because sun worship, astrology plays a very, very big part in this. And we also talked about how mythology, is a part. Mythology and astrology are very closely related. I mean, just look at the names of the planets. They're the same as the name of the deities in the Roman pantheon. So that is her. I have another. This is another of Queen Semiramis, the Statue of Liberty. See, she has the rays of the sun on her head there as well. We have, and this is not just here. You're seeing this over and over and over again. And what do we have here? We have, the Columbia Pictures and Washington, D.C. in the District of Columbia. Yes, this is all repeating. It's going to be, your mind will be blown when you see how much of this stuff overlaps. Now, we're talking about Columbia, right? We have these other organizations because they set up organizations, nonprofit organizations, governmental organizations, fraternal organizations, almost anything. That's one of their main models for basically establishing control. And there's one of these organizations, you might have heard of it, known as the Knights of Columbus. Also, you have the symbol in the middle, which is known as the fasci. Goes back to the Roman Empire, but it was also used by the World War II guys with the dude that had the mustache. And then if you look at the symbol that is behind that with the triangles, that also looks very similar to an iron cross. And then, of course, you have the torch, because that is that is the torch, that is the illumination from Prometheus. That's what it represents for them. Now, another one that you have, torch is obviously Amoco. And, we know about oil, and we know how that has been for a while, or how centralized the leadership of that is. So we are just getting warmed up here. And this is just a couple of basically showing you what's going on and then why we have those particular symbols and how we basically, can remove a blinder. Now we're going to go easy for the first part. I'm not going to start dropping the crazy intel because I want people to comprehend all this stuff. Now, the craziness will get there. We'll probably be here for at least an hour. Okay. If you're not familiar with the symbolism that's on the dollar bill, now, this is a great place to start. Obviously, I mentioned that the all-seeing eye and the pyramid is one of the biggest symbols. It's the quintessential symbol of the Illuminati. There's no doubt about that. But aside from that, the word 13, supposedly 13 is an occultic number. They believe that numbers have certain powers. So there is Fritz Springmeier did some research, and he, basically believed that there was 13 Illuminati bloodlines, and it was okay, but I don't know. I've looked into it. I've tried to verify it and cross-reference it, and I can't formally endorse all of his research and saying that there is, in fact, 13 families, but we'll just have to know that 13 is a very important number to them. And that's why the number 13 is repeated over and over and over again on the dollar bill. So if you look at the pyramid here, we have the 13 layers of bricks that are in this pyramid. You have 13 words. I'm sorry. I got this right here. I'll just read this here. 13 layers of bricks, 13 original colonies. Also, there's 13 stripes on the U.S. flag. You have 13 arrows that's in the clutch of the eagle or the phoenix, depending on how you look at it. There is 13 leaves upon the olive branch and in its other talon. You have 13 stars above here in this. This is also a hexagon, or similar to a Star of David, but things have different meanings and stuff like that. 13 letters in the motto, E pluribus unum. So let's see, did I miss any? There's a lot there. Basically, and this is one of the ways that you see how they basically control. And then I don't have that with me, but there's also an all-seeing eye on the Ukrainian bill too, and lots of other places. It's the most prolific symbol that you've never actually noticed was there. So you might ask, okay, what does this just go back to what's called the Bavarian Illuminati? Now, if you look up Wikipedia, which I'm sure I'm triggering the fact check, it's giving you there right now if you're on YouTube, they will tell you that the Illuminati is some group, some secret society that was created in Germany by some guy named Adam Weishaupt in 1776. But I don't know. I mean, the whole usage of all of this information and all that, the whole central banking superstructure, and then basically controlling the throne from behind those financial lines, that structure predates 1776 by a very, very long amount of time. So that's kind of the official story. I'm not talking about that group right there. I'm talking about whatever we call this group. Look at my other presentation on that. And if you want to get to that, if you're on YouTube, you can go to the link that's datastormtruth.com. That should be in the notes for the comments. And you can get to my Rumble there, and then you can get to it. Let's see. No, so we're covering the pyramid now. So we need to look at all the pyramids. Let me get those slides up. I have a lot for that. And yeah, okay, here we go. Pyramids and eyes. We already covered that. Let's go. All right, so here is just a lot now. Things you've never seen before. Corporate logos. There's so many of these corporate logos that have all-seeing eyes and pyramids in them. It's insane. You have, here's one. This picture kind of sucks. Sorry. That's Nickelodeon right there. And there's a all-seeing eye and a pyramid right there. Fidelity, Fidelity, obviously, they're just going to say, oh, well, we did that because it's on the dollar bill. And that's one reason that they have like a convenient cover story for it. CBS, which is Columbia Broadcasting, remember? Also an I. We have this. That's such a terrible picture. I'm sorry. That's the Office of Total Information Awareness, and that's one too. And then you remember AOL from the 1990s, right? Like the first internet. Yeah, that's a pyramid and I have some better ones here. I have a lot, guys. So I have so much to show you. Okay, this is a little bit better. So Australian Music Awards, MTV. We saw it that's Nickelodeon, but yeah, not too surprising. In the right-hand corner here, this is a Freemasonic crest because the Freemasons always use it. You remember the movie National Treasure? This is the one that was a little bit hard to show you before. This is a post 9/11 organization. You remember how we got TSA? And by the way, look at my other live stream on 9/11 if you haven't seen that. Very enlightening. But yeah, that's literally like we had, okay, if this is FEMA or whatever, okay, yeah, we're the Total Information Awareness Network. This is our logo. This over here, this is MI5, Military Intelligence 5. That is the British spy agency. I can't remember if it's MI5 or MI6 that James Bond works for, but he's a British spy. I mentioned earlier how secret societies were the precursor for the first intelligence agencies. Look at that. You got the crown right there. You have the eye at the top. This is not that hard. This is right there in plain view. And then a lot of these are different. I think all three of them are from the Vatican. But you will notice that there is a big similarity between the artwork and the symbolism that's in the Vatican and what you find at Freemasonic temples and also Washington, D.C. Remember, I mentioned that the Vatican was important because it's one of the three great cities. Now, the next one. Now, let's go. We have more since we're talking about the Vatican here. Sorry, Catholics. I know there's a lot of great Catholics out there, and there's a lot of good things associated with that particular faith. But from this, it's kind of hard to argue that it's not pretty compromised. Anyhow, so in the art, literally, they have all-seeing eye pyramids right there, magical sigils built in. You have this one on the far right. Looks like it's something over. I don't know if it's a king or if it's Jesus. I don't know. Built in on the top of a steeple. Yeah, that one's kind of crazy, dude. So yeah, you get the point. Let's see. We're just getting warmed up. Let's see here. Now we have, remember I told you, Columbia Broadcasting. A lot of these ones are the ones we've already seen, but you should recognize these organizations. The Marlborough. Now, there was a Marlborough family, and that is actually their crest right there. So, yeah, I have heard that they're probably one of the bloodlines, and they give you tobacco to kill you. It's great. Population reduction has always been a big part of this. Obviously, more talking about the all-seeing eye, right? This is Aleister Crowley, one of the most famous Black magicians and occultic authors of the 20th century. And he's got this is also the rays of illumination. My point is, there is no symbolism that is arbitrary and that is not intentional. Do you remember when I had the other symbols earlier? I mean, if you try to go to an airport and you end up at a pet store, then the symbol serves no purpose and there's no reason of having the symbol. All this stuff does go back to the mystery schools. And they think that it goes back to Egypt, but it goes back probably before that, and with a lot of other ones as well. They call it the Eye of Horus. And that is an interesting story in itself. We also have Now, you got to be careful. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are intentional. Some of them are not as, they're a little bit more vague. So I focus on the ones that are smoking guns personally. We're talking about London, British, London is in Britain, right? Sun, British petroleum symbol, also with sun. Fidelity Investments, also with sun. Cat, triangle. Oh, Fox News is an all-seeing eye. I forgot about that one. I didn't even put it in there. There's so many that I find new ones every single time I look stuff up. I literally found brand new ones. It's not in this one. Let's see. Okay, that one's off center, so it's hard for you to see. Okay, there you go. Pyramid, eye, pyramid, missing capstone. Bet you never noticed that. Yeah, you think you're watching conservative news when you're watching Fox News. You're watching Illuminati news, bro. Let's see. And we have, you would think that it's and there's a lot of them that are actually real too. Real pyramids that have been erected. The Louvre gigantic pyramid of the metal, it's like a metallic framework, and it's like a whole bunch of diamonds that's in France. And that has 666 of those diamonds on it. That's in my other one. I don't have a picture for. That's in my presentation that I had yesterday. They're everywhere. This is just such a small amount of it. I think we covered most of these. Nvidia, the graphics card company, their stock is going crazy now. But yeah, obviously they're an eye. Ameritrade, triangle, sun rays coming out of it. There is just so much of this stuff. Here is another painting, or stained glass window from the Vatican. And yeah, we know what that is. And also, it's in lots of cartoons, and it's used over and over again. Do you remember that one show that was on Adult Swim with the all-seeing eye head too? Yeah, there was that one as well. But 666. Once you realize this stuff, you will never ever be able to unsee it again. And it's also in very important political places as well. Now, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, this is Harry Truman that's in the middle, but he's the guy that actually placed the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill. And that was when he set up the New Deal, all that crap, and then bombed Hiroshima. But he was a front man for them, obviously. And it's also in his now that's I think that's a different Roosevelt. But anyhow, Communist Manifesto, all-seeing eye. This is a bunch of rich guys who are supposedly getting together to manipulate the world. That's a little bit different from what communists supposedly think that they stand for. All of this power to the people, workers rise up, empower the working class, because it's just simply a belief system, or an ideology that's set up to control you. And that's one of the reasons why ideologies exist. But that was topic from the other ones, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. That is simply the Illuminati all-seeing eye symbolism. Now, okay, where am I at on my notes here? Okay, cool. I'm going to show you some actual sites before I get into those. If you've heard of Bohemian Grove, and that this is legitimately an occultic ritual. So if you're not familiar already, Bohemian Grove is a 7,200 acre redwood forest in Sonoma County, California. And it's basically a plot of land that the elite and the most famous people, most powerful people have been going to since the very early 1900s. Now, most of the presidents have gone there. There's a lot of photos of Nixon there, Ronald Reagan being there. That some guy who was in Texas, actually, he has a radio show. First thing is info, and then it's, you know, horrors. Anyhow, that guy, he broke into there and then got footage of this. That was in 2000. And the Grove, you've got these red cloaks and all that. This is called the cremation of care. And they have a effigy. They bring it out, and then they basically sacrifice the effigy to the deity, which is this gigantic owl statue. And this is going to give us the segue for the next symbol that we're going to look at, which is going to be the owl. But and then you'll see all the other owls that you never actually realized were there. But I mean, this is it's quintessential. You basically, it's hard to not realize that, you know, there is this kind of a ritual going on, and that basically the owl is one of the central figures in it. So, I mean, they have that is cremation of care. That's just the stuff that they handed out to the members. So what I do want to show is basically this symbol is everywhere. The symbol is absolutely everywhere. I'm going to come back to the sinister sites in a second, but you've seen it there. Now let's go out, and I'm going to save the really crazy one for last. Now, okay, first, banking tower. This is a banking tower, and that's got an owl in it. There's also an owl on the dollar bill. It's super, super tiny, but it's there as well. Owl right there. And then here's some more bohemian symbolism. And then this up here is Semiramis. It's either Semiramis or Minerva, but it looks like very similar. Are Semiramis and Minerva the same? No, they are not, because she's Aphrodite. Sorry, I had to think about that there. Yeah. But the craziest one, nope, not the craziest one quite yet. The next craziest one, it's kind of crazy, is obviously it's in here, the National Press Club. They have an owl there, sign illumination, more illuminating rays. But the most crazy one that you've never, ever, ever, ever seen, and that you should have noticed, that you don't even know, it's like, once I saw this, I'm like, how has this been here my whole entire life? Is when you look at the Capitol building. The Capitol building, that's the Capitol building. This is an owl around the Capitol building. Literally a three-dimensional owl around the Capitol building. Let me show you another instance of it. You can see it a little easier there. And then the one that really, really, really allows you to see what it is this one. So it's perched, it's sitting on a ledge, and they put that into the street plan. It's been there forever because they're occultists. They designed Washington, D.C. like they designed London, like they designed the Vatican, in order to have all of these symbols, because they're loons and they think it gives them magical powers. So personally, I found that to be like the most mind-blowing one that I ever saw in my life. Once I saw that, because I found this first, and I'm like, that can't be real. That's fake. And then I, went to Google Maps, and I'm like, holy shit, that's real. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, the world is completely ran by somebody else that I've never seen before. So we have the owls that are there. I got some more sinister site stuff. So now we have this is the Scottish Rite of Freemason, or like a Scottish Freemasonic temple. Interesting how they call it a temple. Interesting, right? Because a temple is a place of worship. That's because Freemasonry is a occultic religion. Absolutely. Which I do know about it, but I don't have time to go into that now. One of the basic symbols of it is the double-headed eagle seal. You've probably seen that. So that's on top. And then below, now you have the Masonic compass. And then the other symbol, one of the other gigantic symbols that we're going to get to in a second, is the winged sun disk. And that is what you see here. And then, of course, you have the Freemasonic compass. Because what are Masons? Supposedly they were builders. Masons are brick mason. I mean, they literally build buildings, and they have that knowledge. Some people say the G stands for Gnosticism. Other people say it stands for geometry. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that they have something in mind that they wanted to, you know, that they it means to them. Now, a more sinister site. Now we have London, and I haven't actually looked at this one, so I'm going by my seat of my pants here. Tiamat, and that's from Babylon, like Semiramis also. Um, you know what? I don't really know about that one, so I'm not going to go with that one. But back to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is a trip. Also, the Pentagon. The Pentagon is a pentagram, right? Um, so you have an upside down pentagram in the street plans, also in the street plans of Washington, D.C. This is a map of Washington, D.C. See, here's the owl on the Capitol building that we just looked at a second ago. Now, this coming out here is a Freemasonic compass. Remember, like we just saw with the G on the Masonic temple? And you have the hexagram, Star of David, depending on what you call it. And then you have the upside down pentagram. And the upside down pentagram is generally, if obviously people associate pentagrams with dark magic and stuff like that. It's not always the case, but the upside down is almost always negative. So if there is a nicer version of it, then that is it's not the upside down one. And then this is in a DC museum as well. Of course, we got George Washington. I really hope the founders definitely were very aware of this information. Absolutely. But whether they were bad, I don't think they were bad. When we can talk about, the founders' involvement and what they had in common with the Illuminati, because remember, the Illuminati was created in 1776, right? And then we also signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776. So, I mean, they were doing it at the exact same time. And, Francis Bacon and some others, they will basically argue that then that's what the United States was. It was the New Atlantis. Basically, that's what they called it. And we talk about London, and then you will see reptiles. I can't always get into why the reptiles are why they are. It's a little iffy for me. But now, if you've ever heard of the Templar Knights, now we have the Red Cross, Templar Knights. They're basically centered. They're generally centered in London. And what is their symbol? Is always the Red Cross. The Red Cross. Have you ever heard of the Red Cross before? Everything is symbolism. Everything is symbolism. It's all there, dude. And then you'll see so much more of that stuff after you go into London. So let's see. We have, what is the next thing I'm going to show you about? I did the owls. Okay. Now we're going to go into the winged sun disk, and we're getting weirder and we're getting weirder. Now this thing is everywhere. This is a good place to start. Okay. So this is the actual symbol itself. This is the ancient symbol before I go to showing you where it's, being used at in modern appropriations. Couple different mythology civilizations that use it in different ways. Most people think that it first was used in ancient Egypt. No, it was used by the Sumerians. It's on the Sumerian tablets, the winged sun disk, and that's literally the cradle of civilization. They are the first recorded civilizations, Mesopotamian, present-day Iraq. And it's also obviously been used by the Egyptians as well. And it's basically just this circle with these wings on the side. The circle represents a globe. It represents the sun. And it's a trip. Let me find this. Hold on one second here. I got to open up my folder again. Desktop and Illuminati symbolism presentation. Yes. And what am I doing? I am doing also wing sun disk. Wing sun disk. Yes. Okay. So this is the ancient symbol here. Now, how often is this used in modern times? An asinine amount, more than you've ever seen. So it's used over and over and over again. We have this very unfortunate World War II thing. Yeah, it's there. Believe me, the symbolism in that it continues through like all of the other stuff. The United States Air Force, sure. This is Wingstop. So okay, there it looks like they're probably selling chicken wings or whatever. Dine in or carry out. Bentley, the vehicle company owned by Volkswagen. It's used in NASA. And then also you have a pyramid in there as well. I don't know what those mean, but I'm sure they all mean crazy things. Chrysler, you remember Chrysler's logo before it was this winged sun disk? It was a pentastar, the little pentastar shape, which a pentagram fits around perfectly. We have Harley Davidson. They have new and old versions of the symbol. This is a Harley Davidson one logo right here. Something called Goldwing I've never heard of. United States postage, the band Aerosmith, Mini, as in Mini Cooper, the car company. And I can't see what this one is. But one thing that I have noticed throughout this is that it's almost always on things that are supposed to be fast. So it's in car companies, it's in like the Air Force, aviation companies, it's in fast food. Steak and Shake also has a winged sun disk. Yes, they do. NASA rockets are pretty damn fast. I believe that this is symbolic of Hermes, because Hermes is actually one of the most important figures in occultism. Now, reminder, Hermes is the Greek god, the Greek messenger of the gods, known as the fastest of all of the gods. He is Mercury in the Roman pantheon. And then it's actually interesting because he's also in the Egyptian pantheon. And one would not think that the Egyptians and the Greeks and the Romans share the same pantheon of gods. I mean, their mythologies are completely different, but he is the same figure throughout all of that. All of this stuff has just been obfuscated and confused. Now I have so many. Here is more of an ancient appropriation of it. It's so you see, yeah, it's a mythological symbol. There might be some other things that you recognize there. Also, if you see the snake head here, this, you've seen like this is on the King Tut's death mask. He's got a snake up here. That represents something called the Kundalini. Kundalini, it believes, is like you have like a spirit that is basically able to come up out of it climbs up your spinal cord, and then that act of it climbing up, not really, but like symbolically, is what is believed you becoming like an enlightened human. And then you have it comes out of your forehead, because that is seen as the third eye, and that's what that symbolism means throughout Egypt as well. Let's see. Why do I keep closing my folder like a dumbass? Yes, this is it right here. Okay, wing sun disk. Okay. Harley Davidson. We already went with that. Why is the folder just closing? Okay, is my computer crashing? Literally, it just closed on its own. That's weird. Why are you closing my folder, dude? Am I on another list? Oh, man, get out of my computer. Okay, I'm going to show you this because this is weird. All right, I'm going to show you what it's doing here because I'm like freaking out. It's closing the folder every single time I use it. All right, whatever. I'm trying to do the presentation here. My bad. This is so weird. They really don't want me giving you out this information. I guess that's what it is, bro. So you got the Indianapolis 500. Now, this is one of the gigantic races that you have. Indy cars is what they're called. Obviously, more fast things. Wing sun disk. It's a tire. All right, let's see if it does it now. So we go to desktop and symbols, wing sun disk, And okay, cool. Now it's working. Okay, so I guess that's what we got to do to make it work. Just put it on that screen. Okay, cool. More of these. Basically, you get the point that this is a tremendously important symbol to these groups. And it's used over and over and over again. See, it just closed. Did you see it there? It should not do that. Windows does not do that. I don't know if I have a virus. Okay, this is trip, but I'm gonna make it work anyway. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's all that. Wing sun disk, pretty crazy. Now the wing, oh yeah, it's messing up my freaking transition. You damn bastard closing the freaking windows. Sorry. Okay. The wing sun disk is actually not just the wing sun disk. The wing sun disk is part of something else, and it is highly relevant to Hermes, which I just mentioned before. Now, I have to open this and maneuver these folders again. Bastard. Open it. Windows is loading. Desktop is not responding. So I'll just tell you what it is. Holy cow. Okay, there it goes. Finally. This is so lame. Okay, so the wing sun disk is part of another symbol that you have probably seen before. And see, it is here. You have the wing sun disk in here, and then you have this snake that is crawling up that. Now, this is known as the caduceus. But the caduceus is not just the symbol for medicine. The caduceus is the rod of Hermes. Hermes, who we are bringing up, who we are talking about before. Here is another version of illustration of Hermes. Snakes crawling up there, over there, you see that. We have, this is, remember how I mentioned that Hermes, Mercury, and then Thoth of the Egyptian pantheon are all the exact same deity. He has the same thing. He has the medical symbol right there, the caduceus, because that's what it is. It means pharmakia, because magic was believed to be the first form of science. The precursor to chemistry was alchemy. And supposedly he wrote this book. He supposedly really existed or whatever. I don't know how that works, but that's what people say. And then you see that, you have it symbolized in a different way with basically him grabbing this handful of snakes right here. But it says the study of Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece. And that's what they believe. They believe that they have this information. Hermeticism is basically like the main form of Western magic. So that's what a lot of them practice. Almost all these symbols are hermetic in one way or another. If you have something, a hermit comes from the word Hermes. To be hermetically sealed means to be uncontaminated by anything else. And that is where that comes from as well. You have a couple different versions of Hermes here from the other different pantheons, which from what we know from official history, there's no reason why they should have the same god in their pantheon, but they do. So you see him over and over and over. And yeah, that is Hermes. So you've literally been looking at this symbol. You've been looking at this symbol for your whole entire life, thinking it just means like cold medicine or something like that. But it actually means the staff of a wizard from some ancient time or whatever. That's kind of a trip because there's some cult that believes in Babylonian mystery school religions that evidently took over the world, and they want to make us look at all their symbols now. If that's not a trip, if that is not a trip to you, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We have, what else? Okay, is that it? Did I literally go through everything? I think I went through everything. How much time did that take? 49 minutes. Okay, cool. Let me see. I have, I think, a couple more that I want to share, and then I will address the questions. So you might have seen, we're talking about the Vatican. This is the Baphomet, which is a very well-known like black magic type of an entity. This is very nasty. And this is, I haven't done enough research, but I believe this is pretty much almost similar to the rod of Hermes. You see how it's got the snakes? That's, his member, phallic symbolism. If you're Gen Z, phallic means cock. And then on the subject of phallic symbolism as well, when you look at the 3 Illuminati cities, Washington, D.C., the Vatican, and London, they all have obelisks. They have, the Washington Monument, that big thing that sticks up in the sky. Yeah, it symbolizes a cock. And you thought you were in Kansas. But, they've got them there. There's another one called Cleopatra's Needle that's in Egypt. And I have so much of this stuff. I think I went through it pretty well. So I'm going to look over the questions here. Yeah, a lot of the things are tilted to 33 degrees, because that is actually, it's believed that is the highest level of hierarchy within the Freemasonic structure. Is the 33rd degree. Goat, turquoise. Yes, it says goat, turquoise, white horns, hand, purple, blue piece. All right. Let's see. I have a question. Let's see. This is Truth TV NZ coming from New Zealand. Welcome, if that's the case. How can I find good conspiracy truth channels on YouTube now that the algorithm is rigged? So you're not going to necessarily get the whole truth on YouTube. You've really got to measure your words, and you can talk about some things. You want to go to Rumble, and you want to just find creators. They don't make it very easy for you, but it depends on what you want to look at. If you want to look at information like this is not really being censored too heavily. It's more like people talking about things involving the coof or whatever, that are triggering it. But you can get it on YouTube. If you want to know the truth, though, I mean, you can't just watch podcasts and let somebody tell you. I could just be blowing bullshit up your ass the whole time. So, I would encourage you to verify all this stuff. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But you find probably a lot better stuff on websites. If you do go to my Rumble channel, however, I do my best to basically fill in every gap that I possibly can. So go to Elliot Truth. No, sorry, that's the old site. Go to datastormtruth.com and then click on the Rumble link above. And I have like 4 pages of videos, and I just have a lot of classic documentaries that I just think are super important information that I have uploaded. And, that should probably get you way, way, way farther ahead than pretty much one of the other people that I've seen. I want to take it seriously, but I do want to solve the research problem. Yes. And one of the other problems is this stuff is so crazy and it's so easy to get people engaged with it. A lot of people don't apply their skeptical faculties. So it's really easy for somebody to just drop some disinformation in there and then it can be debunked. That's why I said you have to check it all out. Yes, it says had to click the bell to get the notifications. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for a couple more questions. Okay. Hey, I like how you are all respectful of other people and don't try to start a discord by accusing other normal people of being satanic. Yes. I think that we have way too much infighting, or way too much infighting, and we need to stick to principles and then not, get bogged down in the BS, because division and manipulation is one of the ways that this planet has been conquered. So, you really got to pick your battles. Some of them I think are actually just probably atheists, and they're not actually into all of this stuff, but some people definitely are. And they definitely use numbers in numerology in the way that they launch things. It's very, very, very vast. Okay, let's see. This guy's got a lot of questions, but whatever. I told you I'm going to answer them. So Truth TV New Zealand, I got your back. How can I tell the girl I like about conspiracy stuff and truthism without putting her off? I want to have a girlfriend, but I want to be honest with her about my beliefs, and I want her to be okay with it. Okay, be confident. It's the truth. So don't be ashamed of it. Don't run from it, man. I mean, why would you run or ever run from the truth? I mean, you need to just basically take that position and just say, yeah, I don't care what people think. They can have their own private fantasies. I care about the truth, and I'm looking for the truth. And if you just want to be one of those mundane people that sticks your head in the sand, okay, cool. Not everybody wants to do this stuff. Honestly, you need a higher IQ to even really listen to this stuff and get pleasure out of it. I try to talk to other people and they don't find it interesting whatsoever. If it's somebody like that, it's probably not. Good luck. But yeah, man, it's all about confidence. Not only that, this stuff is interesting. So don't sell yourself short. How can I connect with truthers in the real life? And I want like-minded people in real life, and I want friends that I can relate to. Also, I want friends to be with during the NWO. Well, we're already pretty deep in the NWO as it is. It's definitely not easy. Start out in a city where, you know, maybe there is more of a scene for it or whatever. I mean, it depends on where you're at, but some places are extremely challenging in order to find like-minded people that are into this kind of stuff. So I would maybe start out online and you know, see if you can find some other people. There might be more events going on. I think there's a lot of really, really good people out here, but the problem is that people are not reaching out to others, and everybody's just stuck inside the house. So sometimes you have to basically go out and then make the first move, you know. Oh, dude, you found me off of Reddit. Awesome. I love Reddit. I like, it's the only place I can actually like talk to. I don't know. I think Reddit is like my best social media. Everybody on Facebook just thinks I'm bonkers, dude. Iron sharpens iron. Also, you are right about being skeptical. I actually try to be skeptical like you. Yeah, you have to be. We have to use critical thinking, or we're just going to get taken away. And once you know that, like anything that I put out here, like I mean, I've had to always defend, you know, what I said. So, I mean, I've had to look it up, cross-reference it, know that it was not ridiculous. Other stuff that I couldn't find information now or that I wasn't sure, you know, I just try to not use it. I try to tell people, I'm like, okay, look, I'm not completely positive about this, but this is maybe what I've heard, you know, so you put it out there. You don't have to be right. I mean, you're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to say, this is some information that circulated. It's a theory, and I find it interesting. We're in a world where they basically do not want us thinking. So, you know, they try to just basically corral us into that human sheep pen that we can't even like question things outside of that. And you just have to break the trap. That's all mental. You can't, you know, you just have to know that the truth is worth saying just for the saying the truth. And yeah, people infight. I think it's gotten really particularly bad now because it's like there's just so many other different interest groups. You know, you've got like you've got the Christian people, you know, you've got the MAGA people, you've got the people who are, you know, are all, oh, it's all Israel. You know, you've got you know, like sovereign citizen people, you got flat earth people, all this stuff. And it's like people don't really want to see the big picture, and you know, too much of it is just they don't really care about putting out information and then just doing that. They want to build their brand. This is how humans are, unfortunately. It just there's really no getting around it. So yeah, I mean, we got to figure out like what is important. Basically, what I say, Ben, is I want sovereignty, and I define that very easily. Like I want to make my own decisions with no one else being to, you know, able to countermand them. So if that's what you want as well, then if you have a different view on economic policies or even abortion or whatever, I do think abortion is wrong, but having your sovereignty, if we let it go, if we see, you know, we're not able to work with the other side, we're basically going to just lose everything. So many people are just crazy like this. Like, I don't want to go too much into you know, politics and all that stuff right now, but you had the Code Pink people, which, you know, are the left-wing anti-war protesters, and they've been, rightly so, protesting the war in Ukraine. And then they had the opportunity. Marjorie Taylor Greene came over and then did a photo op with them, and she was like, "Yes, we need to unite, and we need to just whatever, man. It doesn't matter if they're sending all of our tax dollars over there." And I mean, it's not like it's going to affect you differently if you have a different ideology. And it looked like it was a great moment. But then what happened after that? Oh, Code Pink came out and said, sorry, we do not support her. They retracted it, backtracked, all that kind of stuff. And then you look at the other side, and they don't seem to have a problem even siding with the side that is a national, socialist side. They're okay even siding with them. So that's why you need to make coalitions with people that you agree with. If you agree on no topic other than, you're both against the war, that is fine. That is enough. And then you don't need to sit there getting stuck in this morass, arguing about irrelevant BS every day. I mean, that's how we lose, Cool. Yeah, I think that was pretty good. I think I may, let's see here. Yes. I have a couple channels. If you want to get to all of my stuff, go to datastormtruth.com. That's my website. You should be able to get to all of my socials from there. Some of them may not be updated yet, but most of them are there right now. Also, my shirts, comic shirts, different quotes. I have 15 of these made. There's one with Klaus Schwab, says, "You will own nothing and you will be happy." This one is Thomas Jefferson, "Rebellion to Tyrants is Obedience to God," with a comic book version of Thomas Jefferson. My insignia on the sleeve as well. Those are on sale right now for $22.50. You can get those on the website if you would like those. Would help me out. If you can't manage that, then please like and share the video. Please post comments there. My goal is, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this on YouTube and big tech. So I really want my Rumble channel to be kind of my mothership. So please subscribe to all my channels that you can. But the Rumble channel is the one I'm really, really trying to put more emphasis into. Should be able to get to most of my stuff there. I do a lot of stuff. I also do rap music, and I do. I've got like 3 documentary films. That's one reason was caused me some problems. Some of my documentaries had a little bit too much truth to them. We'll just say. You can get all of those on my Rumble page. They're all still there. Get them while you're still allowed to. You can't take this information for granted. I want to thank everybody for coming in, and I hope it was a enlightening presentation. And if you have any more questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I don't know what I'm going to do, where I'm going to take this next. There's some other stuff I kind of actually want to go more into. Maybe I actually know a lot about the occult religion of this group as well. And it's one of my favorite topics, but I haven't really been thinking that people can handle it. But that's one place that I do want to go next. I'm going to probably just be doing some other more mundane live streams, just doing some regular, reaction stuff or whatever. But anyhow, yeah, I'll be live streaming on here soon. I'm going to trying to do a live stream at least once per week. So yeah, until then, thanks again and peace.